The Royal Academy, Part 10, Paper 1, Unit 1. Here, the most important MCQs in Unit 1, that is teaching aptitude. The first one is at least 1/3 of the learning that will determine later levels of school achievement has already taken place by age 6. This is a statement most closely associated with the writing of. The answer is Benjamin Bloom. The answer is Benjamin Bloom. Second one. Of the following, the most unreliable predictor of educational achievement is. Of the following, the most unreliable predictor of educational achievement is ethnic origin of parents. Ethnic origin of parents. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? There are immigrant parents who want nothing to do with the host country culture, and others who completely reject their own heritage. So that is ethnic origin of parents. Third one, all the following are acceptable goals for dealing with behavior problems in the classroom except the answer for this is utilizing appeal to children that have personal implication. See, a child from a disorganized home will experience the greatest difficulty with. Answer for this is independent study. Answer for this is independent study. This is the answer. Now, fifth one. The normal 12-year-old child is most likely to. The normal 12-year-old child is most likely to be eager for peer approval. Be eager for peer approval. That is the answer. This is the answer. Now, during the first year of life, a child height increases by about 50%. During the first year of life, a child height increases by about 50%. C is the answer. Now, the term identical elements is closely associated with. The term identical elements is closely associated with transfer of learning. Transfer of learning. What's the answer? Transfer of learning. This is the answer. Okay. Now, the eighth one. All of the following are true about phobias except that. So you can read these answers. They are generated by an early emotional experience. The sufferer cannot impulse to avoid them. The sufferer will resort to reckless activities to conceal them. They can be overcome. Acrophobia is a fear of open places. Acrophobia is a fear of high places. This is the answer. See, all of the following are true about phobias except in the sense this one. This one is the answer. Okay. Acrophobia is a fear places. Agoraphobia is a fear of high places. Okay. So this is the answer. Next one, see, when a people misbehavior persists, even though the teacher punishes the child for each infraction, the teacher is probably practicing a policy of. The answer is negative reinforcement. The answer is negative reinforcement. This is the answer. Okay. Now, next one. Sarabha and Suresh have the same mental age, that is 8 to 0. We can conclude that what the answer for this is their ability to learn may be quite different. Their ability to learn may be quite different. This is the answer. The IQ varies for these two. Now, 11th one. 11th one. A child whose class is in a windowless room may have to be assigned to another class if he suffers from. A child whose class is in a windowless room may have to be assigned to another class if he suffers from. The answer is C, claustrophobia. The answer is claustrophobia. Okay. Next one. The self-adjective mechanism the teachers often unwittingly encourage is an attention-getting device. An attention-getting device. Next one, C. When an individual repeats those learning that in the past proved to be highly satisfying, such behavior can be explained by the law of effect. By the law of effect. So this is the answer. Law of effect. Okay, this is the answer, law of effect. Next one. The children's attitude towards persons of different ethnic groups are generally based upon. Children's attitudes towards persons of different ethnic groups are generally based upon their parents' attitude. Okay, this is the answer. Now, all of the following are sound mental hygiene practice except. All of the following are sound mental hygiene practices except discussing an individual people's test marks with the class. Okay, so this is the answer. Discussing an individual people's test marks with the class. Now, all of the following advanced people of child development that are closely allied to the stimulus response learning theory except. See, all the theories are closely related to stimulus response learning except one. Whose theory? That is Gesell's theory. His theory. What is his theory? Gesell's theory emphasized that growth always progresses in a pattern through predictable changes or sequences. Sequential development begins within the embryo and continues after birth, while an individual progresses through these stages at his or her own pace. The sequence remains the same. This is Gesell theory. Okay. Now, all of the following can be signs that a child is gifted except uneasy relationship with peers. Except uneasy relationship with peers. This is the case. Now, next one. Froebel's most important contribution to education was his development of the kindergarten. This is the answer, kindergarten. Froebel's most contribution to education was his development of kindergarten. Now, 19th one, teacher tenure laws can be best justified because they protect teachers whose political views differ sharply with those of the community. Okay, the answer is protect teachers whose political views differ sharply with those of the community. Next one, curriculum makers have the most difficulty when the nature of the student population is changing. Okay, so curriculum makers have the most difficulty when, in the sense, the nature of the student population changing. So when we have to change the curriculum, that depends upon the nature of the students. Okay, next one. A school district has adopted a policy prevents teachers from marking the examination of their own students. The most valid justification of this policy is that teachers should not be in a position to evaluate the results of their own teaching. So this is the answer for this. Okay, for this one. Teachers should not be in a position to evaluate the results of their own teaching. Now, next one. A major contribution of the Jesuits to education includes all of the following except. Okay, so they are the major contribution of the Jesuits is insistence of well-trained teachers, repetition and memorization of teaching methods, self-discipline, concentration on the early education of children, emphasis on the classic at the basis of the curriculum. So the answer is concentration on the early education of children. This is the answer for this question. Okay. Now, next one. De facto school segregation is segregation that is primarily a result of residence patterns of the community. This is the answer, residence pattern of the community. Now, next one. The educator who advanced the idea of the 5 formal steps in leaving was. The educator who advanced the idea of the 5 formal steps in leaving was Herbert. Okay, Herbert. Now, this is the answer. Now, that the mind of an infant is a tabula rasa is contribution of John Locke. This is the answer. And what is tabula rasa? Tabula rasa is blank slate. Okay, is a theory that individuals are born without built-in mental content. So no content in their brain. Okay, so that is what meaning of this tabula rasa. And therefore all knowledge comes from experience or perception. Okay, so that the mind of an infant is a tabula rasa is the contribution of John Locke. Now next one, see. The disadvantaged child's chances for success in school will be maximized when his intellectual potential is discovered and educational deficiencies are overcome. So this is the answer. Okay, this is the answer. D is the answer. Okay, D is the answer. Now, the individual develops through the head, the heart and the hand. This was the educational philosophy of Pestalozzi. So this is the answer. This is the answer. Okay, Pestalozzi. Now, Martin Luther greatest contribution to education was his. Martin Luther's greatest contribution to education was his translation of the Bible into German. The answer is translation of the Bible into German. Okay. Now, of the following the statement that is least valid is that. Of the following, the statement that is least educationally valid is that is overlearning constitute a waste of time. Overlearning constitute a waste of time. In a kindergarten class, it would be unreasonable to expect a child to. Okay, the answer is know what it is time to clean up. Okay, this is the answer. No, when it is time to clean up. Okay, this is the answer. When it is time to clean up. Next one. See, the trial and error method of instruction is the best enhanced by. The trial and error method of instruction is best enhanced by independent study. This is the answer. Okay, independent study. Next one, see. An increase in comprehension skill is most likely to result from. An increase in comprehension skill is most likely to result from guided silent reading. Okay, the answer is guided silent reading. Okay, now next one. In dealing with the class, this is misbehaving. The teacher's least effective course of action is to lower the grade of people who create the most serious infractions. Okay, so this is the answer. Lower the grade of people who create most serious infraction. Okay, now next one. A fourth grade child takes the possession of people who sit near her. The teacher's best initial step is to, okay, what is the initial step? Arrange a parent conference to try to determine caution. Okay, so this is the answer for this. Next one. Next one. A teacher notes poor attendance in class on Fridays, the day weekly tests are given. The teacher should, what the teacher should do? Schedule tests throughout the week. Okay, this is the only way the teacher has to stop the absent. Now, when the majority of people in science class is well below the grade level in reading, the teacher should plan many hands-on activities. Okay, so this is the answer. Plan many hands-on activities. Now, during the first parent conference of the year, the teacher should do all of the following except disagree with the parents' philosophy of child reading. Okay, so this is the answer for this question. Now let us see the next one. Career education should begin. Career education should begin in kindergarten level. Okay, so which level? In kindergarten level, the career education should begin. Next one. Of the following words of advice given by an experienced teacher to a new colleague, it would be the best to ignore the one state, that is one that state. What's the answer for this? If you have a very shy child, don't call on the child. Wait until the child volunteers. Okay, so the answer for this question is this one. Okay, next one. To be successful with an overactive child, the teacher should. To be successful with an overactive child, the teacher should provide the child with purposeful activities that legitimate the need for movement. Okay, so this is the answer. Provide the child with powerful activities that legitimate the need for movement. Okay, next one. Of the following, the one least important to success in beginning reading is. Of the following, the one least important to success in beginning reading is knowledge of the alphabet. So this is the answer. Knowledge of the alphabet. Okay. Next one, see. Lesson planning should be guided primarily by the consideration of. Lesson planning should be guided primarily by the consideration of the curriculum goals. Okay, curriculum goals. This is the answer. Next one. The best procedure for the teacher to adapt with the people who frequently stammers in class is to. The best procedure for the teacher to adapt with the people who frequently stammers in classes. The answer is suggest that the parents seek professional help. Okay, so this is the answer. Okay, now next one. So that's all about the questions. Okay, so thank you. This is Royal Academy. So this is the phone number. You can contact this number and join in this academy. Thank you. Now, of the following